She was the most beautiful prisoner I'd ever captured. And that should have been my first warning. Her name was Catherine Miller, wanted for the murder of Thomas Whitmore in Denver. $500 bounty, dead or alive. When I found her hiding in a church in Colorado Springs, she didn't fight, didn't run, just looked at me with those green eyes and said, "I've been waiting for someone to find me." 3 days. That's how long it took to ride from Colorado to the Marshal in Silver City. 3 days with a woman in chains. But by the second night, I was listening to her story. And by the third day, I knew I'd captured the wrong person. Partner, some bounties are worth more than money. And this one, it cost me everything I'd built as a bounty hunter. If you're ready for this tale, hit that subscribe button. I tied her hands. Not too tight, but secure enough. She sat on that horse like she'd been riding her whole life. Quiet. Calm. Too calm for a woman heading to a noose. "You can run if you want," I told her. "Most do." "Where would I go?" she said. "There's nowhere left to run." We rode south from Colorado Springs, 300 miles to Silver City, 3 days through mountains and desert. Just me, her, and the truth slowly revealing itself. That first morning, I noticed things. The way she flinched when I moved too fast, the old bruises on her wrists, the scar on her neck that looked like someone had tried to strangle her. And I started wondering, what kind of man leaves marks like that on his wife? Colorado Springs, 1877. A growing town at the edge of the frontier. Churches, saloons, decent folks, and the kind of folks who hide in churches when the law comes looking. I'd been tracking Catherine for 2 weeks. The wanted poster said she'd fled Denver after shooting her husband. $500 for her capture. That's good money. Enough to keep me going for 6 months. I'd done this work for 10 years. Brought in outlaws, murderers, thieves. Never questioned the wanted posters. Never asked if they deserved what was coming. But Catherine Miller, she was about to change everything I thought I knew about justice. My name's Sam Cordell, 35 years old. Been a bounty hunter since I left the cavalry in '67. It's not pretty work. You chase men across deserts and mountains. Sleep with one eye open. Trust nobody. And you learn real quick that the world ain't fair, and the law don't always mean justice. I'd seen innocent men hang, seen guilty men walk free. But I told myself it wasn't my job to judge. My job was to catch them and collect. $500. That's all Catherine Miller was to me when I started. Just another bounty. Another payday. I should have known better. Beautiful women are always more dangerous than they look. Not because they're evil, but because they make you want to believe them. And partner, I wanted to believe her from the moment I saw her. Catherine Miller was 27 years old. Blonde hair, green eyes, and a face that belonged in a painting, not on a wanted poster. She'd been married to Thomas Whitmore for 3 years. He was a Denver merchant, rich, respected. The kind of man everyone called a pillar of the community. But Catherine? She had bruises that told a different story. Old ones on her wrists, a scar on her neck. And when you looked close, you could see the fear in her eyes that never quite went away. "He was going to kill me," she told me later. That night, he finally tried, and the gun went off. I didn't pull the trigger. We were fighting over it, and it just went off. But the sheriff in Denver, he was Thomas's friend. And friends protect friends, even when they're dead and don't deserve protecting. The poster was clear. Wanted, Catherine Miller. Murder of Thomas Whitmore. $500 reward. Dead or alive? Dead or alive. Those 3 words always bothered me. They meant that if I decided it was easier to bring her in draped over a horse instead of sitting on one, nobody would ask questions. I'd seen bounty hunters do it. Claim the fugitive resisted or tried to escape. Collect the money either way, But looking at Catherine, I couldn't imagine pulling that trigger. Something about her didn't fit. Murderers run. They lie. They fight. She did none of those things. She just waited, like she'd already accepted whatever was coming. And that's what made me start paying attention. First night, we made camp in the foothills. I built a fire, made coffee, gave her some jerky. Her hands were still tied, but loose enough to eat. We sat on opposite sides of that fire, not saying much, just the sound of wood crackling and coyotes in the distance. "You ever been married, Mr. Cordell?" she asked. "No, ma'am." "That's probably wise." She stared into the fire. Marriage can be a prison, especially when the law protects the man no matter what he does. I didn't say anything, didn't know what to say. "You know what's funny?" she continued. "Everyone in Denver knew what Thomas was. They knew he beat me. They'd seen the bruises. But when he died, suddenly I was the monster. Because a wife who defends herself, that's worse than a husband who beats her." That's when I noticed her wrists. The rope marks were old, older than the ones I'd put on her. "He tied you up," I said. It wasn't a question. She nodded. "Many times, when he was really angry, sometimes for days." And I started understanding that the real criminal might already be dead. "Tell me what happened that night," I said. She took a breath. "Thomas came home drunk. Again, he'd lost money gambling. Again. And when Thomas lost money, he took it out on me. He started yelling, broke a chair. Then he grabbed me by the throat. Her hand went to the scar on her neck. Said he was tired of me, tired of feeding me, that I was worthless. I managed to get to his desk. He kept a pistol there. I just wanted to scare him, make him stop. But he came at me, and we fought over the gun. It went off. Once, he looked surprised. Then he fell. And I just stood there. Couldn't believe it was over. Couldn't believe I was finally free. But then the sheriff came, Thomas's friend, and he looked at the scene and decided right there what the story would be. Jealous wife, murdered husband, case closed. I believed her. God help me, I believed every word. Second day, we crossed into New Mexico territory. The mountains gave way to desert. Hot, empty, unforgiving. Catherine rode without complaint. Never asked to stop. Never asked for anything. Just endured. I found myself watching her. The way she sat that horse. The way she looked at the horizon like she was memorizing it. Like she knew she'd never see it again. "What will you do with the $500? She asked. "Haven't thought about it." "That's a lie, Mr. Cordell. Men like you always think about the money. It's how you survive." She was right. I'd already planned it out. Pay off some debts. New saddle. Maybe a week in a real hotel. "What would you do with it?" I asked. "If you had $500 and your freedom?" "Run," she said quietly. "As far and as fast as I could. Maybe California. Maybe Mexico. Somewhere no one knows my name or my face." And I realized I was taking that possibility away from her. For money, second night, I made a decision. I untied her hands. "You could run," I said. "I won't stop you." She looked at me for a long moment. "Where would I go? You just catch me again. And next time, you might not be so kind." "I don't feel very kind right now, ma'am. I feel like I'm making a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" "Believing you." She smiled. Sad smile. "Most people don't. The sheriff didn't. The judge didn't. Why should you?" "Because I've seen enough evil to know what it looks like. And you? You don't look evil. You look tired." We sat by that fire, and for the first time, she cried. Not loud, just quiet tears running down her face. "I didn't want him dead," she whispered. "I just wanted him to stop hurting me." Is that wrong? And I knew right then, I wasn't taking her to Silver City. Third day, we could see Silver City in the distance. One more hour, and I could collect my $500. I stopped my horse. Catherine stopped too. Looked at me with those green eyes. "This is where we part ways," I said. "What?" "You're free. Go, before I change my mind." "But the bounty." "To hell with the bounty. You want to know what I learned in 10 years of chasing people? I learned that wanted posters don't tell the whole story. And I learned that sometimes the law protects the wrong people. If I let you go, when I let you go, I corrected. When I let you go, I'm throwing away my career. No marshal will hire me after this, but I'll be able to sleep at night. Can't put a price on that." She started crying again. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you. Don't thank me. Just run, and don't ever come back to Colorado." I watched her ride away, west, toward the setting sun, toward California, or Mexico, or wherever she chose. And I rode into Silver City alone, told the marshal I'd lost her, that she'd escaped in the night. He didn't believe me, but he couldn't prove otherwise. Word got around fast. Sam Cordell let a fugitive go. Can't trust him. Can't hire him. My career as a bounty hunter ended that day. But you know what? I don't regret it, because I learned something important on that 3-day ride. I learned that justice and the law aren't always the same thing. Catherine Miller was guilty of killing her husband. The law said she deserved to hang. But justice, real justice, said she deserved to be free. I never saw her again. Don't know if she made it to California. Don't know if she built a new life. But I hope she did. I hope she found somewhere safe. Somewhere no one would hurt her again. As for me, I left bounty hunting. Took work as a ranch hand. Honest work. Simpler work. The pay's worse, but I sleep better. Sometimes I think about that $500. What I could have done with it. The life I could have kept. But then I remember Catherine's face when I told her she was free. The way she smiled. The way she said, "Thank you." That's worth more than $500. Worth more than any bounty I ever collected. Partner, there's two kinds of men in this world. The ones who follow the law no matter what it says, and the ones who follow their conscience. I used to be the first kind, but Catherine Miller taught me to be the second, and I've never looked back. If this story meant something to you, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment telling me where you're listening from. And remember, sometimes doing the right thing means breaking the rules. Until next time, partner, may your trails be clear and your conscience clean.